Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Chet here from Avion Technology here in the Chicagoland area. We are a digital agency that works with a lot of small businesses. One of the areas that we work with is we work with a lot of medical health practices, especially smaller medical health practices. And today's video especially is for them. This is a part of my series about small businesses. It's a very industry specific one, and in this week's series I'm going to actually talk about medical practices. One of the things is, please, this is a conversation, right? I'll try to be as accurate as possible with a lot of these things, but I could be wrong. So please don't construe any of this as, especially financial, legal, or medical advice. Please seek out an expert for that. So today I'm going to talk about top 10 must-have features and compliances for websites in 2024, for medical health websites in 2024. The first one, of course, is appointment scheduling, right? And by the way, I'm looking at my notes here because there's 10 things that I have to remember, and my memory is not good enough. So I'm looking at my notes right here as I speak. So the first one is appointment scheduling. This is like almost a must-have, right? And especially after the pandemic, every medical health practice needs an online appointment scheduling app. In WordPress, you have Calendly, which does that for you. I'm sure there's equivalents of that in Wix and Shopify or whichever platform you're using. But one of the things is you need an online scheduling app, right? For sure, and integrated into your website so that patients can come in and they can request a consultation or they can request an appointment online. They don't have to go through a gatekeeper or a receptionist to do that. That's number one. Second is telemedicine, right? Again, this is something which has just accelerated after the pandemic. Everyone is, telemedicine is huge these days, right? No one wants to go to a doctor. You want the doctor to come home to you. So everyone has a telemedicine app, and I think it's a great innovation, especially for a lot of the things like which don't require like emergency care or which don't require urgent care. For example, I think telemedicine is huge, and it's even like things like follow-ups, for example. Right? It's much easier to do follow-ups through a telemedicine app versus actually going there. I have folks in my family who have chronic conditions, and telemedicine is huge because now they can actually travel overseas, and their doctors can still do their appointments online via telemedicine. Third, of course, is patient portal. This was always there. It's been there for the last 10 years. But again, this is something that you need, especially for storing, updating records, medical tests, medical reports, all these things. Give the patients their own portal so they can do all those things there. One of the big things about patient portals is make sure that you have HIPAA compliance. So that's my point number 4 is HIPAA compliance. Make sure your website is HIPAA compliant. Make sure your practice is HIPAA compliant. Again, there's HIPAA experts. I'm just talking about this, just as very superficial information. But there's HIPAA experts out there. Go and seek out a HIPAA expert. He can make your practice HIPAA compliant, both from a marketing perspective and actual online perspective. But HIPAA compliance is again something that your practice needs. Next is point number 5: live chat with a medical assistant. Again, this is one of those things that I really like because 9 times out of 10, at least for me, whenever I don't fall sick so easily, but so I just sometimes for example, there was this one time when I was feeling a little dizzy, and I had to go to a doctor, and the doctor actually had a big queue of patients, right? So I always wondered, what if he could have just like an online person who could help me out, and that's actually a trend which has started. Especially for folks who don't have something big happening. They just need some just like some routine consult. Maybe they just want to fill up a prescription, or just some diet guidance about their diets, things like that. So live chat with a medical assistant, that's point number 5, extremely important. Next is health information resources. Again, if we see the trend in the medical industry over the last 20 years, it's going away from treatment to wellness, right? So everyone's on the path of wellness, and then how do you achieve wellness, right? You achieve wellness through information. You educate folks about their diet, about exercise, about all these different precautions that they need to take. Where do you put all this information on your website? Next, point number 6 is mobile optimization. Point number 7 is mobile optimization. Make sure your website is optimized, right, for mobile phones, because there's just, I think 70% of all the traffic in the world now actually comes through smartphones, right? So if your practice's website is not optimized for mobile phones, then you're definitely going to suffer. most of your users will not even be able to reach you, and that's not a good thing. So definitely make sure your website is optimized for mobile phones. Next is ADA compliance. Americans with disabilities, right? There's a lot of Americans with disabilities, and for them, normal websites don't work that the way they should. So ADA has a lot of good guidelines. They take people with hearing disabilities and visual disabilities, and even folks with neurological disabilities, like folks who suffer from epilepsy, for example. They cannot see a lot of like flashing lights and stuff on your website. So there's just ADA compliance is amazing. Again, like HIPAA compliance, ADA compliance is huge. It's not a one and done thing in a couple of minutes. You need to hire an expert to do that for you. But like HIPAA compliance, ADA compliance is definitely something that your website needs, your app needs, because there's just so many people with disabilities who can't access a website or an app, like a normal person can. I mean, by the way, when I say normal, I'm not saying that I'm normal. I'm just saying that a person without those disabilities can. So you should definitely think about ADA compliance. The next is PCI DSS compliance. This is a financial compliance. Within this compliance, what essentially it makes sure is that you're not storing any credit card information on your website. You're not storing any just as HIPAA makes sure that you're not storing any patient health information on your website which can be compromised, PCI DSS compliance makes sure that you're not storing any credit card information on your website that can be compromised. So that's PCI DSS. And lastly is EHR, right? Make sure you have some. I'm sorry, I just lost my lights. Everything is turned dark. I'm sorry. But yeah, the next thing is make sure that you have EHR integration, right? With some EHR out there, there's a lot of EHRs out there. I'm actually going to do a series on top 5 EHRs. But if you're a medical practice, you definitely need EHR so that you can access patient health information. HIPAA has made it amazing because now one patient's information can be ported everywhere. But yeah, I think EHR integration is a very good idea, and make sure that your website has been integrated with the web services from some EHR. At Avion, we've actually done most of these things. So we've helped create telemedicine apps. We've integrated a lot of EHRs. We've helped to do PCI compliance. We've helped to do ADA compliance. We've helped to do PCI DSS, PCI compliance. So just all these compliances we've helped with. So most of the things that I'm talking quickly are things that we have done. But yeah, if you're a medical practice and if you're looking at getting any of these things done, do give us a shout. Here at Avion Technology, like I've said, we've helped a lot of medical practices do digital marketing to grow their business, and also do all these different functionality to kind of make their business better and to improve their patients' journey and sometimes patients' outcomes as well. So check here from Avion Technology. Thank you so much. These are my coordinates. Please give me a shout if there's something that you want to discuss. Otherwise, if you like this, press like. If you want to subscribe, press subscribe. And if you're a medical practice, and I just want to say thank you for all that you guys did back in 2024. It was awesome. Back in 2020, I'm sorry, during the pandemic, and we see our society and how well it functions, and a lot of times we don't realize that it functions so well because of first responders like you, who often put their own lives at line to make sure that all of us can sleep soundly with our families at night. So thank you so much for that. It's definitely appreciated. Check here from Avion. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.